Hey y'all, it's Kim. So this will be chapter 6 of the Robert Hur classified documents report against Joe Biden. And this, like I said, chapter 6. Um, of course, last week I did the whole transcript with the audio. I just let it play in Joe Biden's voice. And now this week I'm trying to get these done because I do have to work Friday. We'll see how it goes. But this section has about 34 pages, so I'm going to have to split it up in like 2 or 3 videos. But just be aware. You just have to go through and just try to watch them in order, I guess, if you so inclined. I'm doing this because I'm curious with everything that's coming out. I have a lot of stuff that I want to look up. I've got so many things I just want to get on video because there's so much information out there. We've been lied to for a long time. But anyway, let's go and get started. So, chapter 6, the classified Afghanistan documents. To fully appreciate Mr. Biden's references to Afghanistan in his conversation with Zwanitzer on February 16th, 2017, it is helpful to understand Mr. Biden's place in the fraught debate about American policy in Afghanistan in the early days of the Obama administration. In that debate, Mr. Biden played a conspicuous role. He strongly opposed the military's effort to send large numbers of U.S. troops to Afghanistan, and this opposition culminated in the lengthy handwritten memo Mr. Biden sent President Obama over the Thanksgiving holiday in 2009. By 2017, Mr. Biden believed his judgment, as reflected in the memo, had been vindicated by history. Years later, in December 2022 and 2020 or January 2023, FBI agents found the handwritten Thanksgiving memo and marked classified documents containing his advice to President Obama in Mr. Biden's Delaware home. Maybe Mr. Biden's role in the 2009 Afghanistan policy reviews. At the beginning of 2009, one of the incoming administration's first and most significant foreign policy challenges was the war in Afghanistan, which was then in its 8th year. Early in the administration, Mr. Biden opposed President Obama's decision to deploy additional American troops to Afghanistan, and in the administration's internal debates, Mr. Biden was the lone dissenter. Privately, he worried the nation was drifting into another Vietnam. Soon after the announcement of the additional troops in March 2009, General Stanley McChrystal assumed command of forces in Afghanistan and conducted his own review of the war effort. McChrystal's written assessment concluded that America must send yet more troops and adopt a counterinsurgency strategy to protect the Afghan population. McChrystal soon followed this assessment with a request for another 40,000 U.S. troops. Around the time McChrystal submitted his assessment, the Obama foreign policy team was splintering and the divisions between two opposing sides began to harden. On one side, Defense Secretary Robert Gates, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Michael Mullen, and General David Petraeus supported McChrystal's call for a counterinsurgency campaign and for significantly more American troops in Afghanistan. On the other side, Mr. Biden and a number of National Security Council and other White House observers were deeply skeptical of these proposals. Mr. Biden left no doubt where he stood. The military's public lobbying for more troops was, he said at the time, fucking outrageous. Privately, Mr. Biden continued to fret that President Obama was poised to repeat the disastrous mistakes of Vietnam. A fall 2009 review. Again, this backdrop from September to November 2009, President Obama convened 9 meetings of the National Security Council to debate McChrystal's troop request and the strategy in Afghanistan. One such meeting is shown below. Photos of other meetings during the course of this policy review show Mr. Biden taking notes in his AFPAC notebook and reviewing marked classified documents, including 2 marked classified documents that were later recovered from his Delaware garage. National Security Council, November 11, 2009, with marked classified documents later found in the Delaware garage, P-37. During the fall 2009 review, Mr. Biden's voice was one of the strongest. As Mr. Biden put it during an interview with special counsel, the president thought that I knew a lot more about Afghanistan than he did and other members of the administration. He didn't have overwhelming foreign policy experience, and how could he take on the most premier members of the foreign policy establishment in his administration? So he's looking for me to make the strongest case I could, which I was prepared to do because I knew as much about it as they did. Playing the role of leading in-house skeptic, Mr. Biden consistently and forcefully opposed McChrystal's call for a fully resourced counterinsurgency strategy in Afghanistan and the request for 40,000 more troops to implement this strategy. As an alternative, Mr. Biden advocated a narrower strategy involving a reduced U.S. military footprint. And maybe that's why he pulled completely out in what was it, 2021? Just that's my footnote here. Okay, Mr. Biden's notebook entry after the first meeting of the fall 2009 review reveals the depth of his opposition to McChrystal's proposed counterinsurgency strategy, often abbreviated COIN. Mr. Biden wrote that in his presentation during the meeting, he was able to punch a hole in the logic of those advocating COIN and noted that another official in attendance praised Mr. Biden's critiques as devastating. Summing up, Mr. Biden's notebook entry explained, if I succeed in slowing down or stopping this misguided policy buildup, it will make taking this job worthwhile. This decision will define our administration in history. Hanging out there alone is worth it. I don't want history to associate me with the adoption of a COIN. Deep into the fall 2009 review, when in President Obama's words, everyone was sick of Afghanistan, sick of meetings, and sick of one another, Secretary Gates offered a compromise. This modified version of McChrystal's proposal called for an extra surge of approximately 30,000 troops, with the plan to begin drawing the number down within 18 to 24 months. The troop number was far larger than what Mr. Biden wanted, but the drawdown was meant to avoid what Mr. Biden feared most, an open-ended American commitment. The last National Security Council meeting to discuss the president's options was held near the end of November, with President Obama promising a final decision soon after. B. Mr. Biden's Thanksgiving memo to President Obama. With the Thanksgiving holiday looming, Mr. Biden made one final push to change President Obama's mind about the way forward. The day before Thanksgiving, Mr. Biden sent a typewritten memo to the president emphasizing Mr. Biden's concerns that adding more troops was a potential strategic blunder. As was his long-standing tradition, Mr. Biden spent Thanksgiving with his family in Nantucket. For much of the holiday weekend, Mr. Biden and his staff worked on yet another memo to the president on Afghanistan. That Saturday, 2 days after Thanksgiving, Mr. Biden sent President Obama a lengthy handwritten memo offering Mr. Biden's final thoughts. The same memo he recalled in his 2017 discussion with Schwanitzer. The memo strongly criticized the premise underpinning the military's counterinsurgency strategy. Mr. Biden also vented his frustration with senior military officials, noting that he was tired and angry at the way they have tried to box you in through leaks and less than straightforward analysis of the alternative offered. Mr. Biden's notes from that day reflect that the memo was sent by secure fax and placed in the president's hands. The handwritten Thanksgiving memo, later found in Mr. Biden's home office in 2023, contains information that remains classified up to the secret level. As Mr. Biden explained to the special counsel, he sent the handwritten Thanksgiving memo because I was trying to change the president's mind and I wanted to let him know I was ready to speak out and to really, quite frankly, save his ass. Mr. Biden said he spent a lot of time writing the memo and he stayed up Thanksgiving writing it. It was, he said, the first and only time he ever wrote the president a memo such as this by hand and without distributing it to anyone else in the government. The same day Mr. Biden sent the memo, he wrote in his AFPAC notebook that based on his deep disagreement with what he anticipated would be President Obama's decision, he considered resigning as vice president. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Tomorrow, the president is going to make a fatal decision regarding Afghanistan. As I sat looking out the window at the sea, thinking I should resign in protest over what will bring his administration down. Although I obviously wasn't there, I feel like this is what it must have felt like for Kennedy, then Johnson, in the early days of Vietnam. I feel guilty and boxed in myself, guilty for not having been more successful with the president and staying. Boxed in by knowing, or at least feeling, that my resignation would only harden his position and leave him with one less voice. President Obama's final decision. The next day, Mr. Biden left his family in Nantucket to be by the president's side for the final decision. Before a scheduled Oval Office meeting, Mr. Biden tried to schedule a last-minute conversation with the president, but his request was rebuffed. Undaunted, Mr. Biden showed up to the White House early and waited for the president to come down from the residence. Mr. Biden used the short walk to the Oval Office to urge the president not to bend any further to the wishes of his generals. After the day's meeting ended on November 29th, Mr. Biden recorded this final reflection. I hope I did all I could have done to move us as far away from Petraeus and McChrystal as possible. On the short walk over from the White House to Oval, I emphasized President Obama's need to be strong. He said that is why I brought them in face to face. I said good he was president and not me. I would have gone to war with him, and he smiled and said, I know, I would have enjoyed seeing that. 2 days later, in a speech at West Point, President Obama announced the Afghanistan troop surge, an additional 30,000 American troops who would begin to draw down after 18 months. As Ron Klain, one of Mr. Biden's longest serving and most trusted aides, explained, although Mr. Biden publicly supported the president, privately he deeply disagreed with the decision, which he considered to be a historic mistake. Among other things, he feared a second Vietnam with the United States sending tens of thousands of Americans over to a pointless war. Mr. Biden's aide, or personal aide at the time, likewise explained that the 2009 Afghanistan decision was a huge issue for Mr. Biden that was very, very important to him. In the years since the 2009 surge, including when Mr. Biden, as president, decided to withdraw all U.S. troops from Afghanistan in 2021, he has invoked his Thanksgiving memo and claimed that history has confirmed his good judgment. We see how that turned out, though. That's my footnote. In December 2022, the FBI found in Mr. Biden's Delaware garage marked classified documents from the fall 2009 Afghanistan review. As explained in Chapter 2, in November 2022, marked classified documents were found in Mr. Biden's files at the Penn Biden Center in Washington, D.C. Excuse me. After this discovery, Mr. Biden's personal counsel then searched his Delaware home for additional documents, for classified documents. Their first search occurred on December 20th, 2022, when counsel searched his garage, found additional marked classified documents there, and alerted the Department of Justice. The next day, December 21st, 2022, with Mr. Biden's written consent, FBI agents searched the garage. Okay, I'm going to stop it here and then start up, and I'm just going to record another one. Give me just a few minutes and I'll get them all loaded up. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye.